probably the biggest challenge of all. Okay, so first things, I got some questions for you. Number one, raise your hand if you participated in the Facilitathon today. Awesome. Okay, so the Facilitathon is, we'll talk about that a little bit. This is part of our Sign Me Up campaign. And I want you to know, for a lot of you that are in one particular competition, this is another competition you might consider taking if you like to do a lot of different things. We're going to talk about that for a second too, okay? So it's called Sign Me Up, baby. All right, facility management is cutting hot. So what's facilities management anyway? Well, the people that are in charge of really big buildings and grounds. Big buildings, really big buildings. Like, can I get this to click? Well, apparently we're not going to do anything here. Let's get this to click. There we go. All right, so what do we got? We got Lambeau Field. Anybody here been to Lambeau Field? Raise your hand. Yeah, you've been to Lambeau. All right, so there are 5 friends of ours who are facility managers that run that field. They get to see Aaron Rodgers all the time. All right, he's walking in the locker room. There he is, all the time. All right, theaters. What was the last? Has everybody here ever been to a concert of some sort? Raise your hand. Okay. People who run those places like the Eagles Ballroom in Milwaukee or Alpine Valley. Facility managers run those outfits. It's a really, really cool job. Hey, there's Van Halen or whoever. They're there, right? They're coming there. Okay, what else we got? Call center. Who's seen a Badger basketball game? Tell me about that. Raise your hand. Okay. Okay. So there's a bunch of really, really sharp people who are running that building as well. They work for the University of Wisconsin, actually. All right? So these are really, really big, cool buildings. These are sports complexes, but those complexes are also joined by a whole bunch of other outfits, companies of all types, really big companies. Has anybody ever seen this building? It's in Milwaukee. Yeah. We call it the Burj. A buddy of ours built this. It is a, what, $3.2 billion building. It's crazy. This is the Northwestern Mutual headquarters that just went up a year ago, and Scott Williams is in front of that. He's part of our team. Come on, let's go on to the next one. Okay, so we run the Facilitathon. This is a Sign Me Up program. So the Facilitathon has a couple questions. All right, so I'm going to ask you these questions. You think about this for a moment. Determine whether or not this makes sense to you. Okay? First off, do you hate people in buildings? If you don't like people or don't like buildings, stand up. You're going to stay standing for a minute, girl. You're going to be around for a while, right? So stay standing. All right? So, problem solving. Most of you are SkillsUSA students. I happen to know you're good problem solvers because that's why you're here, right? So, but if you don't like problem solving, if somebody comes to you with a problem, you freak out and run away. Stand up. That happens. Oh no, girl, you gotta stay up, girl. Come on. Alright. Okay. So, if you don't like action and variety, who doesn't like action and variety? Come on. If you don't like action and variety, you want to do the same thing every time for the rest of your life, stand up. Oh, you stay standing. You're not going away from me. Oh, and the final one is, can you think on your feet? Hey, you're SkillsUSA students. You can probably think on your feet. But if you can't, stand up on your feet. All right, no, you guys stay standing. Okay, so everybody who's standing right now, sit down. Everybody who wasn't standing, stand up. Get up. Why do I want you up? Because I don't want you asleep. I want to tell you about this thing. All right, so if you answered yes to all those questions, and most of you did, turn around, look around at everybody. Look around, everybody around you. Okay, so the reality is this, that you're probably really good at a particular SkillsUSA event right now. You're probably an ace at it. And if you're an ace at it, you will probably be an ace at that when you're in your next job a number of years from now, and you will probably be responsible for the building because you're the top ace, because you're SkillsUSA. Ever think about that? Being the top dog? You probably would be. And so the top dog in most buildings like this is the facility manager's personal leader. You can sit down. Quick sit down. It was a big lunch. I don't like to fall asleep. All right, so we're running this event. It's a 3-part event. We're running this at state. We're also running it at regionals here, and a bunch of you took it. It's really cool. You get kind of turned up for it. So it's got 3 parts on it. It's got a 50-question quiz. It's got a little role play. We give you an idea and you get to talk to us about it. And then it's got the FM challenge. Raise your hand if you took the FM challenge today. Yeah, you did. Do you think it was cool? Yeah, it's cool. So we tell you about some sort of emergency. We just kind of lob it at you and go, so what are you going to do? Don't just stand there, do something. What are you going to use? And then what would you do to prevent it if it was really bad and you didn't want bad stuff to happen again? So if you decide to, you could probably take this event as well as the event you're taking now at stage. We want you to sign up ahead. That's why we call it the Sign Me Up program, right? And it's called for the Facilitathon. So if you like action and variety, in other words, if in your future career you want to be able to do something a little bit different every day, that's what we do as facility managers running these really, really big buildings, okay? There's a scholarship for winners, right? We've got 3 programs that are teaching this stuff after high school and post-secondary stuff. That is MATC Madison or Madison College. We've got a 1-year certificate. UW Milwaukee's got a 2-year thing going on for that. And then if you want to go to UW Stout, who's going to be going to the Stout regional event? Yeah, there's a few of you. You'll be going to Stout. So UW Stout has a 4-year gig in that. So facilities management's being taught as a college degree program, and you can get a scholarship for it through our event. Let me click that. Okay, so why do we do this? I already told you, right? It's different every day. You like action and variety. It's awesome. You love your job because you get to be somebody's hero every day. You get great pay, and you get to be their hero. All right? So that's what the Facilitathon is about. It's called the Sign Me Up program. Hey, I'm honored you could be here, and I hope I kept you awake after lunch. Best of success to you.